morning. Good morning. I want to welcome you to today's Enlightenment here on Facebook. I'm Jay Moore, your healthy accountant. And the title of today's Enlightenment is The Symbolic Nature of a Shepherd. The Symbolic Nature of a Shepherd. This week, we're talking about taking down lions, bears, and even giants. This is coming from the story of David. From his roots, the very beginning, who he was prior to taking down Goliath. And so yesterday we talked about the needle in the haystack, where of all of the sons that Jesse had, David, the youngest, the one that wasn't the fighter, the one that wasn't the one that seemed to be the one that could have been chosen, he was the needle in the haystack. And so today we're going to talk about what David had been doing. David was a shepherd boy. David was in the fields and David was tending to the sheep. So I wanted to look up the word shepherd, and what I looked up was shepherds they tend to the sheep. A shepherd is also a person who rears sheep. So here it is. David, he's a person that's in the field. Typically people that are in the field, they don't get as much credit as they normally would get. People in the field tend to be jobs that we don't want. I can't say that I was, back in, Newark, New Jersey thinking, man, you know what? I want to be a farmer, or I want to go and raise cattle, or, work with the sheep. No, I wasn't thinking about that. And here it is. Back in those days, at least that was common. David was a shepherd boy. But what's happening with David as he's a shepherd boy is that he's learning a lot. And so the text that I went to, I turned right into, the Bible this morning and saw Psalms 23. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this Psalms. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Wait, so the Lord is my shepherd is key, because David's a shepherd, but he realized who the ultimate shepherd is and who the ultimate shepherd was in his life. And he wrote about it. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, facing death, I will fear no evil. Here it is. David learned at a young age that even when the toughest times comes to him, he's going to be able to get through it because he's with the ultimate shepherd. You spread out your banquet for me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with drops of oil. My heart overflows with gratitude. David knows that he's been chosen for something very special in God's working with him. Your goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in your house forever. So David, who is a shepherd, he knew that ultimately he was following in the footsteps of the one that was guiding him. I was reading in another text. Let's see, where's it at? Jesus is known as the good shepherd. So here it is. God is the ultimate shepherd. Jesus is the good shepherd. David, who's also a shepherd, is preparing himself. He's preparing for something big. He didn't know what he was preparing for all this time. He thought that he was just rearing cattle and, working with the sheep. That's what he thought. But when he was anointed by Samuel, when Samuel looked upon David, what he saw was, he says, man, this boy looks good. He was, he had a rugged look, yet he was suntan because, he was out in the sun a lot. And he had this sparkle in his eye. The clear word said he had a sparkle in his eye. This is what Samuel saw. Samuel knew at this moment, this is who God wanted him to choose as the next anointed one. But Samuel knew he wasn't going to tell the family. Samuel didn't even tell the family that he was going to anoint David. What Samuel did, he waited. He waited till no one was looking, and he anointed him. And here it is, the shepherd boy. Now he's anointed, but he's following in the biggest footsteps out there. He knows that there's something about him that he's gonna now be able to live a life to help others. But he wasn't like really preparing for it in his mind, because we're going to talk in a couple of days about some of the things that he was able to do while he was out shepherding. We're going to talk about some of the things that he he was able to, you know, to accomplish because of the fact that he was a shepherd. See, the symbolic nature of who we are. We're all sheep. You're a sheep, I'm a sheep. We're being shepherded. We're being, led down some path. I don't know what path you're being led down, but we're all being led down a path. And that path that we're being led down is by a shepherd, the good shepherd, Christ, who's our shepherd. Christ, who is the one who he became, he's the shepherd, right? But he also became the lamb. See, Christ went ahead and laid down his life. He laid down his life for all of the sheep because he didn't want any of his sheep to be lost. It's kind of like if, David was out with his sheep, which I'm sure that there were many times he was out with his sheep and one sheep got away or one sheep was, went off. He had to leave the other sheep to go get the other one because he didn't want to lose any sheep. And this the symbolic nature of David being a shepherd. Because with him being a shepherd, with him being a person that now is chosen and anointed, there's a big shoe that he's going to fill. And what we're going to talk about in a couple of days is what he did. Everyone knows this story, right? See, the reason why I think I'm talking about this story this week is, as the year is ending, as this year is ending, and I think we have less than 40 days left in 2018. We've got about 34 days left. There's a Goliath. There's a mountain. There's something that you've been having a hard time accomplish. We're all going uphill. We're all fighting the battle going uphill. But the thing about it is, that thing called Goliath, or that thing that's really getting the best of you, what you need is a shepherd. You need the good shepherd in your life. Check out Psalms 23 today. Read that verse today. Allow that verse to talk to you the rest of the day. Psalms 23, allow that verse to penetrate your soul, because what a shepherd is someone that can lead you. See, we all need a leader. And if we don't have a good leader in our life, then what happens to us? Hey, we just kind of want meander and just kind of flatten out. I was watching a video yesterday on YouTube, and the video was about doubling your income, which, hey, who doesn't want to double their income? And it was by a guy named Patrick Bet David. He's on the channel Valuetainment. And so I'm listening to this video, how to double your income. And what he showed was astonishing. How the incomes of average people, most people, the incomes of average people, how they start, where they top out at, and then where they just kind of don't go up any longer. He talked about, basically going from, like, say 16 to say 25, 30, 45, 50, and how you top out somewhere around 44, 45 at about $50,000 per year. And From there, it just stays flat, goes down a little bit. But then he showed the 1%. How the 1% say at the young age they get to 80,000, but what happens is their incomes, the 1%'s income goes as high as say 470,000, but their net worth continues to rise all the like past like $9 million past, when they are over 65 years old. See, the 1% continue to grow, but the average don't grow. Why is that? There's no leader. There's no shepherd. There's no one leading the average person. Even when they say, you know what, hey, Jay, I go to church every week. Jay, I'm studying the Bible. Yeah, absolutely. And look, I go to church as well. But I'm going to tell you, I look around sometimes and I see average. I see no growth. Why? How can we be inside of a church where we're being shepherded, but yet there's no growth? And so when he showed this video showing how, anyone can do this, right? But what happens is if you were to just look at the last 5 years, look at the last 5 years, look at your income, look at where it was 5 years ago, and look at where it is today. Look at it and then study that. And if you're flattened out, then what that says is that you're not growing. If you're making waves, if it's going up, then that's excellent. But the thing is this. See, results are the basis of how we achieve things. When you went to school, when you went to college, there was a result. You got your degree or you didn't. Some people didn't get a degree. And you know what? That doesn't mean anything. I got a degree, but I'm going to tell you, most people that got degrees, flat, they're just going straight across. That's why I started doing programs like this, because I said, at least I can say, you know what? I'm growing in an area that I was no good at, and I'm still no good. I'm just excited that I can come on, share something about something in the Word. Psalms 23 today. We're talking about this week. We're talking about taking down lions, bears, even giants. The story of David up to the point where he took down Goliath. That's pretty much what we're talking about. So, guys, I want you to go back, read Psalms 23 today, whatever version of the Bible you like. Even if you don't even have to really have a huge belief, but read Psalms 23 today. Understand this nature of a shepherd, how we are all searching for a shepherd. We all want leadership, and that is where we're going to find leadership today. Right there in the Word. Start your day off, get it going, and allow that text to lead you down the road of ultimate success for you, for your family, and everything that you want in your life. So, guys, I appreciate you for joining me today. My name is Jay Moore, your healthy accountant. And if you got value from this program, definitely like, share across Facebook, let others know what you're listening to, at least the positive stuff, so that they too can share in some of the things that you may be partaking in. So, guys, I appreciate you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you. Take care.